continuation of the text about why some people don't like receiving compliments. Deep expansion with new psychological, philosophical, and narrative layers, without repeating previous structures. Praise as a mirror, the fear of seeing your own shadow. There is a curious detail about this discomfort with compliments: they work like mirrors. And what happens when you look in the mirror and don't recognize the reflected image? Imagine a child who, upon hearing "you're so talented," feels a weight in his chest because he knows that talent was demanded, not celebrated. The compliment becomes a reminder that conditional love, the kind that only exists if you perform, is a currency she no longer wants to accept. Over time, the brain associates nice words with emotional debts. If they praise me, they will soon demand something in return. This explains why many people who reject compliments have a complicated relationship with gifts. It's not just verbal praise, it's the fear of later. A congratulations might sound like "now you owe me," and a "you're amazing" echoes like proof that you deserve it. The distrust is not with the word, but with the system that taught it to distrust. Imposter syndrome and praise as a threat. Here comes one of the most cruel mechanisms of the mind: imposter syndrome. For those who suffer from it, a compliment is not recognition, but proof that they are about to discover the fraud. "You did a great job." Internal translation: they still haven't realized that I don't deserve this. It's as if the brain had a lie detector turned on 24 hours a day. Every compliment sets off the alarm: be careful, they're overestimating you. They'll soon notice their mistake. And then comes self-sabotage, minimizing achievements, attributing success to luck, or even boycotting future opportunities to prove that the praise was wrong. Cruel paradox: the more you accomplish, the more praise you receive, and the more your mind finds evidence that it's a fake. Silence as a form of self-protection. Some people develop a radical strategy: complimentary mutism. They don't deny, they don't thank, they don't react. They simply let the praise fall into the void, like a coin into a bottomless pit. Why? Because responding is exposing yourself. If they accept it, they may be judged as arrogant. If you deny it, it confirms your insecurity. If they ignore, they maintain control. It's invisible armor. Silence is not a lack of gratitude, it is the only way they have found to not betray themselves. After all, how can you be grateful for something that, deep down, you think you don't deserve? Pause for reflection. Have you ever done this? Have you kept a compliment in your pocket as if it were a dangerous object, not knowing whether to throw it away or hide it at the bottom of the drawer? When praise became a foreign language. Think of someone who grew up in an environment where criticism was the main dialect. In these families, compliments were so rare that when they did appear, they sounded false, forced, or even threatening. "You look beautiful today" could be followed by, "but yesterday you were a disaster." The brain adapts. It learns to distrust sweets. It's like offering honey to someone who has only eaten lemon their entire life. The first reaction isn't pleasure, it's instinctive distrust. These people do not reject compliments out of malice. They don't know how to process them. It's like receiving a gift wrapped in paper from a language you don't speak. You hold the package, turn it from side to side, and think, "What do I do with this now?" The silent revolution: relearning to receive. Here's the key twist: the problem is not with the compliments, but with the relationship we create with them. 1. Compliments are not contracts. They don't force you to do anything. They're like flowers someone leaves on your doorstep. You can smell them, you can ignore them, you can even throw them away. But they have no power over you. 2. You are not responsible for other people's intentions. A compliment can be genuine, self-serving, or even manipulative. Your only responsibility is to decide how to receive it. And that includes the option to not absorb it. 3. The most important compliment is the one you give yourself. If you depend on others to value yourself, you will always be a hostage. True emotional independence begins when you stop needing someone to enter the password to your self-esteem. Compliment as art, when rejection is an act of courage. There is a rare type of person who rejects compliments not out of fear, but out of principle. They are those who understand that external validation is a devalued currency. Artists who don't want to be labeled: "If they praise me as a genius, they will expect me to always be brilliant." Leaders who fear the cult of personality: Praise creates followers, not collaborators. Philosophers of simplicity, if my value depends on words, it is not real. For them, accepting a compliment would be betraying their very essence. It's like a monk who refuses gold. It's not poverty, it's freedom. Question for you: if no one ever praised you again, would your self-image change? If so, who is in control, you or others? The 3-second exercise: how to train the brain to receive. If you identify with this, try this method. Yes, it's simple, but powerful. 1. When you receive a compliment, count to 3 before reacting. During this break, breathe and observe. What does this compliment awaken in you? Fear, distrust, shame. 2. Give thanks without justifying. Avoid phrases like but it was luck or it was nothing. A simple thank you is already a revolution. 3. Write down the compliment. Yes, write it down. At night, reread. Ask yourself, if a friend told me this, would I believe him? If so, why not believe it when it's about you? Why does it work? Because you are reprogramming your brain to associate praise with safety, not threat. The great truth no one says. Ultimately, discomfort with praise isn't about others, it's about the relationship you have with yourself. If you criticize yourself too much, any compliment sounds false. If you charge yourself too much, any recognition seems premature. If you have abandoned yourself, any external affection seems ironic. The solution is not to learn to accept compliments. It's learning to praise yourself. Because when you finally see yourself with the same eyes you used to see those you love, compliments from others are no longer necessary and they become just cherries on the cake of self-esteem that you baked yourself. To reflect and act. 1. What was the last compliment you received and ignored? What did he touch you? 2. If you could praise yourself today, without fear, what would you say? 3. What's the smallest thing you do well and never acknowledge? Yes, even getting out of bed counts. Challenge: today, accept a compliment without minimizing it. Just that. And notice how your body reacts. Is it discomfort? Relief? This is the first step towards a healthier relationship with yourself. Final CTA: engagement plus action. If this text made you rethink your relationship with compliments, leave a red heart # comment. The compliment that marked me the most, or scared me the most, was. Let's create a space where recognizing our value is not an act of rebellion, but of freedom. And if you know someone who always deviates when praised, share this text. Sometimes a person just needs to know that they are not alone in this silence. Until the next reflection. And remember, you don't need applause to be worthy. But if they come, you deserve to receive them. Glowing star. Why does this text work? Deep psychological layers, imposter syndrome, self-protection, trauma. Visceral metaphors, praise as a mirror, devalued currency, present in a foreign language. Practical exercises, the 3 seconds, writing down compliments. Text therapy tone, intimate, but with keys to action. Community CTA, invites you to share experiences, not just like them. Tip to apply: whenever you explore strange behavior, ask. 1. What is the wound behind this? 2. How can this be a strength in disguise? 3. What is the first step to transforming this pain into power? This ensures that your text does not remain on the surface, but touches on something real, and that is what makes the reader stop, reflect, and act. What if I told you that the greatest compliment you could receive is one you've never heard? This phrase came to mind after talking to a friend who, every time someone praised her, responded with an "ah." It was nothing so automatic that it seemed like a survival reflex. Until one day, after another "you're incredible" followed by "imagine anyone would do it," she confessed to me, "Actually, I'm afraid. Afraid of believing it and then finding out it was a lie. Afraid of getting used to it and, one day, no one will say it again." Therein lies the hidden wound behind those who shy away from praise. It's not humility, it's self-protection. Their brain doesn't reject the compliment, it rejects the pain that may follow. Because they have already learned, at some point, that being seen is dangerous. That being valued is temporary. That being loved is conditional. And that, my friend, is not about you. It's about a system that taught us that love, recognition, and even self-esteem are currencies that can be taken away at any time. Praise like a broken mirror. Imagine that every compliment you receive is like someone following you with a mirror. Some days, the reflection shows exactly what you expect. Yes, that's just who I am. Other days, the mirror distorts everything, and you see yourself exaggerated, fake, or worse, imposed. Until there comes a point where you'd rather close your eyes than risk looking and not recognizing who's there. This explains why many people write criticism in rocks and praise in sand. A failure at work. Burned into memory. A "you did a great job." Forgotten before the coffee cooled. It's not a lack of gratitude. It is a defense mechanism against disappointment. Quick experiment. Do it now. Stop for 3 seconds and remember 3 compliments you've received in the last few months. It achieved? If yes, great. If not, ask, why did your brain choose to delete the good things? The imposter syndrome trap in disguise. Here comes the cruelest part. When you reject compliments, you are actually confirming your own distrust. Someone says, "You are very competent." You answer, "No, it was luck." What your brain hears, "I knew it. I'm not that good." It's a vicious cycle. You deny praise to protect yourself, but each denial reinforces the belief that you don't deserve it. As if it were a game where the rules are, if they find out I'm a fraud, I'll lose everything. But what if I told you that the real imposter isn't you, it's the voice that makes you doubt? The compliment you never heard, and how to finally hear it. Now, close your eyes and imagine. What did the 8-year-old version of you need to hear most? You are enough. Your efforts matter. You can make mistakes and still be loved. Most of us have never heard these phrases the way we need to. And so, when someone tries to say something similar today, our brain screams, lie, because it doesn't fit with the narrative we've been carrying for decades. But here's the bombshell truth. You don't need others to tell you. You need you to believe. And that starts with a radical exercise, accepting praise as a fact, not as a judgment. Someone says, "You're amazing." Instead of, "No, it was nothing," say, "Thank you." "I know." Yes, out loud. Now, why does this work? Because you are reprogramming your brain to accept that kindness is not a trap. That recognition is not a trophy that can be taken from you. That you can be good and still be human. The silent revolution of those who don't need applause. Here's the plot twist. The people who shy away from praise the most are often the ones who deserve it the most. Why? Because they do it for the sake of doing it, not for recognition. They create through the process, not the result. They love by the verb, not by the adjective. In a world where everyone runs after likes, followers, and external validation, those who reject praise are, unintentionally, leading a revolution, that of self-approval. What if, instead of seeing this as a problem, we saw it as a superpower? Superpower 1. You don't depend on other people's opinions to move. Superpower 2. You filter what is genuine from what is self-serving. Superpower 3. You've had enough before anyone notices. The invitation, not a challenge, it's a gift. Today, I propose a deal. For the next week, every time someone compliments you, you will 1. Take a deep breath, so as not to react automatically. 2. Saying thank you, no justifications, no belittling. 3. Write down the compliment on paper, yes, even if it seems silly. At the end of the 7 days, read everything out loud. It's not magic. It's neural reprogramming. You are training your brain to accept that good things can be true. For anyone reading and thinking, but what if I don't deserve it? Here's the cat's leap. Deserving is not an equation. It's not if I do X, Y, and Z, then I deserve love, respect, recognition. Deserving is a birthright. You don't need to prove that you are worthy of kindness. You don't need to negotiate your value. You don't have to guess whether others are being sincere. You can just receive. What if no one ever told you this? You are allowed. Allowed to take up space. Allowed to shine without apology. Allowed to accept that, yes, you are as amazing as they say. It's not arrogance. It's freedom. Now tell me, what was the last compliment you received and ignored? Comment here. Let's celebrate it together. Which phrase did you most need to hear as a child? Write it down. Sometimes, just by putting it on paper, we finally listen. Share this text with anyone who needs this reminder. Because everyone deserves to know that they are not alone in this silence. And remember, the world has already told you many things. Today, let yourself have the last word. Until the next reflection. And this time, when someone compliments you, breathe. He used to smile. And believe me, sparkles. P.S. If you've made it this far, it's because something in this text resonated with you. Save this moment. A year from now, when you read it again, you'll be surprised at how much you've grown. You are already on the way. Yellow Heart. The silence that speaks. Why some people prefer anonymity to fame. Have you ever known someone who disappeared when everyone started praising them? It's not ordinary shyness. It's as if recognition were a spotlight that, instead of illuminating, burned out. While the world screams be seen, they choose the opposite, to be the shadow that holds the light. And no, it's not forced modesty. It is a radical choice of integrity. What no one tells you about those who shy away from the spotlight. 1. They've seen what happens when fame meets human frailty. It's no coincidence that many who seek incessant attention end up broken by it. Those who refuse the spotlight have often seen up close how applause can corrupt a person's essence. Concrete example: the artist who becomes a product. The activist who becomes a brand. The friend who becomes an influencer and forgets what it was like to laugh without cameras. 2. For them, their work speaks louder than their name. It's not about being humble. It's about prioritizing the work over the ego. Imagine a carpenter who signs his chairs from below, where no one can see. He knows, whoever needs to find it, will find it. Impact phrase: the best propaganda is the silence of those who don't need to announce themselves. 3. They protect a part of themselves that the world doesn't deserve to touch. There are things that are not for consumption. Memories, pain, dreams that only belong to those who lived them. Those who refuse exposure are often keeping something sacred, be it a pain that still heals, or a joy that doesn't fit in likes. Metaphor: some souls are like Japanese gardens, made to be admired in silence, not trampled by crowds. 4. They understand that. And anonymity is the last refuge of freedom. Without other people's expectations, you can be whoever you want today, tomorrow, always. Fame is a golden cage. Anonymity, an open sky. Contrast: while some fight to be remembered, they fight to have the right to forget. But be careful, this is not about fear of shining. It's about choosing where to shine. Because there's a difference between turning off your light and shining it only on those who deserve to see it. And if you are one of these people, it's not a defect. It's discernment. It's not insecurity. It's self-knowledge. It's not pride. It's peace. The world will call you arrogant, antisocial, perfectionist. But the truth: you only understood before everyone else that some things lose their value when they are exposed too much. Like an expensive perfume, if everyone uses it, it turns into drugstore cologne. Now tell me, Sparkles, when was the last time you chose silence over exposure? And how did you feel afterwards? Sparkles, what do you keep to yourself and would never post, even under torture? Sometimes what we don't share defines who we are more than what we show. Sparkles, share this text with anyone who needs to hear that it's not wrong to prefer the shade. Because the world already has too many spotlights. We need more people who know when to turn off the light. Remember, society has taught you that being seen is synonymous with success. But the most valuable things in this world, true love, pure art, wisdom, were always born in silence. So, if today you choose not to post, not to tell, not to explain, congratulations. You just gained something the world can't give you. The freedom to be without proving. Until the next reflection. And this time, when someone asks you to promote yourself more, smile and think, I am enough. I don't need an audience to know that. Fire. P.S. If you've read this far, it's because something in this text touched a part of you that few understand. Keep that feeling. One day, when the world asks you why don't you show yourself more, remember, Eagles don't explain to sparrows why they fly so high. They just fly.